And I would assume, I understand it's preseason. I get it. Keep it in context. But how are you not feeling good about the Seahawks after what we watched in that game? It doesn't even matter. They won, they lost, whatever. Just watching this offense, which is where all the questions are. I think everybody's on board with the defense, really confident in what the defense is going to do. All of the questions are on the offense and the O-line and Sam Darnold and what are we going to see. And we still don't know. We still don't have a clear picture, but it's getting clearer that they are committed to the run. We're getting an idea of how Kubiak runs this offense, more specifically how they're going to attack on the ground. And in this game, you got a big fat dose of it, 48 total carries, 268 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. How do you not leave that stadium feeling pretty optimistic?
It just looked like they could do whatever they wanted to do. And it's kind of funny. It reminded me going back to Mike Holmgren. Talked about this a little bit, I think, on Friday, about how Mike was kind of like an artist, the way he called plays and how one play sets up the next play. And one of the ones that really stood out to me was the pass to Oots out in the flat. Like, they just entirely isolated him. And it was all done by motion and shifting, and and it was just a 13-yard catch that he had, but he's wide open. And the offense they're the ones that set that whole thing up is, the way that you shift and the way that you go in motion and things like that. It's confusing. And especially now, look, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get into the regular season and other teams are going to be game planning you and they're going to know a little bit more. We always talk about preseason. They're not going through film or anything. The only thing they could have done, and I remember doing this before, is going through and looking at like Niner film or what they did in New Orleans last year. But so teams are going to start to game plan them, but still just, in a preseason game against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, some of the players were out there. You had, your running backs got 50, 49, 48, 45. Charbonnet got 45. Drew Lock ran for 34. I mean, it was wide open the entire time. And it was like whoever you plugged in there, it worked. And I thought up front looked really good. Anthony Bradford looked good. Certainly Gray Zabel. I mean, it's just everything is starting to come together right now in the run game.
Yeah, it was encouraging. I mean, if you were somebody that's really concerned with what's happening on that side of the ball, maybe you're doubting. I don't know what, to me, it's just questions. I'm not doubting. I'm just sort of curious, like, all right, how big of an impact does Kubiak have? How different does it actually look? Is it going to be demonstrably different? Is it going to be something where we're going, whoa, we didn't see that before? And some of it is. I mean, just the wide zone, seeing that line perform that way. And I got to emphasize, I'm trying to keep it in context. It is preseason, and I know it gets tougher in the regular season, certainly. But, when the O-line was such a thorn in the side of this team last year, it just wasn't good, and they could not run the ball. To see what you've seen in the first 2 games, going over 400 total yards of rushing in 2 games, it's been very pleasant, to say the least, and gives you reason to be optimistic that this team is gonna be effective, at least in that aspect of the game. We'll see what the passing game looks like. I mean, it was cool to see Sam Darnold out there, but he threw 4 passes. He was 4 of 4, 34 yards, so that part was good. It was mostly Drew Lock out there, but the line and the running game, to me, yeah. I walked out of there going, okay, I love what I'm seeing. I love what I'm seeing, and I'm eager to see how it plays in the regular season.
I think the only thing that maybe you could complain about in that kind of a victory is that, like, well, you're going to get into games where you're going to have to catch up fast, and you're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more. But the way this defense, I mean, I think the defense is going to start like they were at the end of you and I talked about that in the offseason. They're going to start the way they ended last year. So, I mean, you have to have that complement on the other side of, like, your defense is keeping you in the game. You can't be down 21-0 and start running these kinds of plays typically. So, by the way, one of the passes that Darnold threw, I think it was his long one, I believe it was the one to Oots, and where he was just wide open. So, yeah, there's not a lot to tell from that, but yeah, I mean, I think this kind of shows you what you can do if you keep this, if our defense keeps another team in within check, where you can run the ball and you can run these kinds of plays and you can have, 48 rush attempts and 21 pass attempts. That will be a really good thing. But I have a lot of faith in the defense, so I don't think it's necessarily a fluke. But I also don't think they're going to run for 268 yards every game.
Yeah,
but
I'm not
nice to see that.
I'm not expecting it, but it was just cool to see that offense. I really like what the way Kubiak has things set up, and it seems like it really does favor what the O-line does well. And we'll see again, does that translate to the regular season? Meanwhile, guys fighting for roster spots that stood out to me were both wide receivers. Jake Bobo, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, making great grabs, and then Derek Young, a guy you've talked a lot about. 3 targets, 3 catches, 52 yards. I mean, it feels like you got a lot of talent at that receiver position. How it shakes out, I don't know. Do you think they keep 5? Do they keep 6? And who are the odd men out? I mean, it feels like you're going to be cutting talent there. You're going to be cutting a receiver, whether it's Cody White or whoever it may be, that you look at and go, oh, God, I hate to see that guy go.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be happy to not see Bobo and Derek Young go, because those are the guys that I did think maybe would be casualties. One of the reasons, just less roster spots maybe for receivers, but maybe they don't do it that way. Maybe they take less of a as far as a personnel grouping goes, from another position. But I thought because of all the tight end receptions and the number of plays that maybe they would cut a receiver down anyway. But now all of a sudden you're looking at Bobo. I love that Derek Young, I think he kind of solidified his spot on the team. And you have to have that guy on your team. He's too good of a special team player, and I think he has a lot of potential on the upside. But yeah, I agree with you. I like seeing those 2 guys, especially Bobo, kind of a fan favorite. And I thought he definitely proved that he needs to be on this roster.
Yeah, really. There's a lot to take, and when we've got a longer show, obviously we'll get deeper into it. But a lot of good takeaways. Kind of tale of 2 teams. Mariners incredibly disappointing over the weekend. Seahawks, you walk out feeling optimistic and excited. At least I did anyway. So just feeling good about what we saw with that team.